Do you have nuclear weapons?
Well, we have a long-standing policy that we won't be the first to introduce nuclear weapons into the Middle East, and that hasn't changed.
Does Israel have nuclear capabilities and nuclear weapons? Yes or no?
We've always said that we won't be the first to introduce it, so we haven't introduced it.
Do you have them or do you not?
It's as good an answer as you're going to get.
Da li Izrael ima nuklearno oružje i zašto Netanjahu ponavlja uvek isti odgovor? Riječ je o amimutu, izraelskoj politici namerno nejasnog odgovora. Što manje kažeš, to si bezbedniji. I pred protivnicima i pred međunarodnom zajednicom. Ali hajde da pogledamo činjenice. Izraelski nuklearni program razvija se u tajnosti još od 1956. godine, nakon što Francuska gradi reaktor u Dimoni. Danas Izrael posjeduje flotu podmornica koju je obezbedila i delimično finansirala Nemačka, a za koje se veruje da nose nuklearne epopeje rakete, a procene govore o stotinama nuklearnih bojevih glava, isporučivih avionima, raketama i podmornicama.
So it's absolutely true that countries in Western Europe and also that the United States have helped Israel acquire nuclear weapons. Then France also wanted to support Israel, and that's where it was a bit more aware that it could lead to a nuclear weapon. And that was because they had a mutual enemy. It was the Arab nations that France was fighting against during the process of decolonization. France really wanted to supply Israel with nuclear technology because France was seeing itself as one of the main exporters of nuclear technology in the world, and it was competing with other countries for that market, the Israeli market. This is not a very well-known story that France was competing with Norway. Out of all countries, Norway was avid and very adamant about getting into the Israeli nuclear market.
60. američki predsjednik Kennedy pokušava da izvrši pritisak i pošalje prave inspekcije u Dimonu. Posle njegove smrti pritisak ne staje dok program napreduje. Istoričar Martin Sandler čak sugeriše da je Mossad organizovao Kennedyjevo ubistvo.
They're very angry letters in which Kennedy is saying to Ben Gurion, I'm killing myself trying to get a nuclear test ban treaty. I've even got de Gaulle on board, and that's impossible. And you keep testing in Dimona. You've got to stop. Ben Gurion, in so many words, says, it's easy for you to say sitting in Hyannisport. I'm sitting with the Arabs all around me, and you want me to give up nuclear testing. The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben Gurion.
A pazite ove ironije. Izrael je više puta napadao nuklearna postrojenja u regionu koje je smatrao pretnjom. Irak 1981. i Siriju 2007. na primjer, pokušavajući da zastraši Iran.
The NPT and the non-proliferation regime more broadly are actually premised on discrimination, on creating an unequal world, a world divided between a few countries that are allowed to have nuclear weapons and a lot of countries that are not allowed to have nuclear weapons. The Begin Doctrine, which started with Israel's Osirak attack in 1981, and we can see it come all the way to 2025 with Israel's attack against Iran. This policy basically says that other countries that are adversaries of Israel in the Middle East should not be allowed to get their own nuclear weapons. That Begin Doctrine has not been contested in any significant way in the international arena. Whenever Israel does one of these attacks, it is condemned and it might even be expelled from the IAEA, but then the US here can do a lot for its ally, for Israel, and it's doing that by using the very substantive contributions to the IAEA budget. So if the US doesn't like the way Israel is treated, it can actually use the power of the purse, right?
U 1960. grupa izraelskih intelektualaca upozoravala je da će nuklearizacija regiona ugroziti i demokratiju i stabilnost. I nisu bili daleko. 1967. američki ambasador šalje u Washington poverljive informacije od izraelskih izvora da je Izrael samo nekoliko nedelja od izrade bombe. Uoči šestodnevnog rata Izrael sastavlja eksperimentalni nuklearni uređaj spreman za demonstraciju na Sinaju. Navodi se u intervjuu sa ključnim ključnim organizatorom operacije u New York Timesu. Najbliže upotrebi došlo se 1973. tokom Jom-Kipurskog rata, a tu je incident vela iz 1979. godine, kada je američki satelit detektovao dvostruki bljesak iznad Južnog Atlantika. Kasnije, deklasifikovane analize sugerišu da je verovatno reč o izraelsko-južnoafričkom nuklearnom testu, ali slučaj nikada nije zvanično razjašnjen. Sve ostaje u domenu tajni, sve do 1986. kada tehničar Dimone, Mordehaj Vanunu, svetu dostavlja 57 fotografija postrojenja.
I am proud and happy to do what I did.
To je bio prvi konkretan dokaz da Izrael gradi nuklearno oružje. Zbog toga dobija 18 godina zatvora, 11 u samici. Do danas mu je zabranjeno da napusti Izrael pod stalnim je nadzorom bezbednosnih službi.
As a human being, I have the right to express my political views, my ideas. I have no more any secret. The only one who have secret is Israel government. Israel government has nuclear weapons and they have this secret. I don't have any more secret.
Ako ni to nije bilo dovoljno, 2006. izraelski tadašnji premijer Ehud Olmert na nemačkoj televiziji slučajno svrstava Izrael među nuklearne sile, nakon čega su uslijedile optužbe i pozivi na ostavku. A 2023. ministar Amihaj Elijahu izjavljuje da je jedna od opcija u Gazi nuklearna bomba. Netanjahu ga suspenduje, ali retorika ostaje.
Having people say these kinds of things not only dispels the nuclear ambiguity that Israel has been trying to build, but also should give us pause, should make us very worried about how a country is advocating using weapons of mass destruction against civilians.
Izrael nuklearno oružje vidi kao poslednju liniju odbrane. Ako padamo, padaćete i vi, poput biblijskog Samsona koji je poginuo zajedno sa svojim neprijateljima kada je srušio hram na Filistejice. A da li Samsonova opcija zaista postoji?
Your question, of course, refers to this very famous book written by Seymour Hersh, The Samson Option, which talks about, first of all, how Israel obtained nuclear weapons, and also what Israel would do with those weapons, especially in a situation that involves a serious threat on Israel's survival as a state. We cannot really know exactly for sure because of this official policy of ambiguity. But even if this is indeed true, as Hersh tells us it is the case, it's not really unique because the idea of using nuclear weapons and while incurring potentially a devastating blow against one's own country, this is basically the doctrine or the policy put in place by other nuclear powers, including the United States and Russia. The notion that a country can sustain and continue to exist even after a nuclear attack against it has been launched and has been executed is basically the whole notion of damage limitation, the doctrine of damage limitation, which the US has in place side by side with this notion of mutually assured destruction, which actually says you're not going to use nuclear weapons, you're not going to launch an attack against another country because we are all going to die. We're going to kill each other in the process of having this kind of a nuclear exchange.
Izgleda da će svet, umjesto da vodi Izrael pod međunarodnu kontrolu, radije čekati trenutak kada će se pokazati da li je ova priča bila mit ili upozorenje.